Наташа, это дворец или школа?
Well, I've been very, very happy with this conference. I think it's been a tremendous success. I think all of us have learned a lot about each other and about our mutual work. I think the most interesting problems we discussed is concerning the structure of our schools in each of our societies, which turned out to be very, very similar in nature, even though we have very different political systems. Our schools seem to be structured quite the same, very traditional, and as we try to bring technology into them, we see that in order to take advantage of technology the most, we have to change the way we teach students and the way students work in schools. I think the most immediate is that we've brought in, we've had about 150 people here, I'm not sure the exact number, and all of them have learned that it is possible for us to cooperate across a global framework and to collaborate with one another on joint projects. Many of the people who were here have been involved in joint projects for the past year or maybe 2 years at most, but now we have many, many more people who can create these projects. Many people actually established exactly those kind of relationships and plans with one another, and so now we have multiplied those people many-fold. I think we have to do our most to share with one another. The organizing committee should stay together, should expand itself, should perhaps create some kind of publication that we could all utilize. We should work to communicate together via telecommunications and begin to make preparations for another conference within 1 or 2 years.
It's such an overwhelming experience to be here. There's no way to talk about this without talking in two ways. One about one's own emotional and spiritual response to an occasion such as this, and the other one professionally for us to grow, both as people and as professionals. I think I was most impressed with the fact that there is such a common ground for our discussions, that the issues we face are those of education, how we can understand the learning process for our young people. That came through in meeting after meeting after meeting, what role the technology has to play in this process, and then finally, of course, how we can provide access for all children. That as educators we have a special responsibility that goes beyond the politics of all of our governments, that we truly have to preserve the integrity of our profession I think it seems to me that that is the most immediate, that we must continue this type of interchange. The impressions one have is of the country, the Carillion forests, the beauty of the people, the extraordinary cultural strength of the country. That has to be, I think, the first impressions without going into the professional aspects of the conference.
I am a teacher. And I want to talk to the young people.
Я люблю обращаться к молодым людям.
Now listen.
Так что слушайте.
It is my great honor, on behalf of the participants of all these countries, to be here tonight to say thank you for giving us a piece of your spirit.
Для меня большая честь высказать вам от имени всех представителей всех наций, собравшихся на этой конференции, выразить вам благодарность за тот мир, который вы подарили нашей душе.
Tonight, the barriers of all our differences are broken.
Сегодня вечером все различия между нами разрушились.
Your music and your dance speak to us.
I think that the most important problem for our countries in this part of the world is the problem of rehabilitation of the culture here. And this problem could be approached from different sides. One is to use the traditional culture of these countries. Another one is to use imposed culture from the West. Both approaches, I think, are unrealistic and hard and difficult and dangerous to implement. I believe that the combination of these two could be really productive, and that the new technologies could serve as a real engine for this process. What we have now today here in this meeting is the cooperation, real cooperation of the people from our countries, from the West and from East, from Asia, who have the common vision of this process of rehabilitation of culture in these countries. Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, наш круиз подходит к концу. Our cruise is coming to the end. For us it's a pity, because it was a very interesting cruise. Usually people say after the cruise that the crew got good and everything was normal, but this time I would like to say that we had very good passengers on board the ship. And from our side, on behalf of the company, our captain and all our officers, I thank you that you've been very nice and you've been very friendly, and thank you very much. Before I give you the microphone, the crew won't express our attitude towards you and present you a small Russian souvenir. This is the samovar. Can you give it to me? From our crew with open heart. From Russia with love. Thank you. And now I give you microphone.
Sorry I'm late. Hello? To be honest with you, I never thought this would start on time, so I thought I would like to say that I had no idea I was saying anything at all, but since I have to, I would like to say two things. One, thank you to Boris for this fabulous idea about the ship. And two, thank you to the organizing committee, Bank Bankson and Paul Resta and Tom Reeves and Boris and Alexei and me too for having such great sense to invite all of you fantastic people. Right. Okay?
Thank you.
Now it's time to go. I hope the boat don't move too slow. Don't worry. Be happy.